Okay, guys, this is to officially welcome us again to Safeoclock Health and Safety Interactive Workshop. I'm so glad and happy to have all of us gather again after 1 week. So you are all highly welcome, and we are going to follow our usual sequence, how we do it here. We are going to start with a short presentation. After the presentation, we start with the discussion proper. So first, for people that are just joining us, we are on to Safeoclock Health and Safety Interactive Workshop. We hold this workshop every Thursday virtually by 6 p.m. Qatar time. So the aim is to interact among health and safety professionals, discuss topics, any topic chosen for the week. So this week we have chosen to discuss smoking policy. So different organizations have different policies regarding smoking at workplace. So we are going to rub minds together, and during the interaction, we can share how we implement these policies in our workplace, and maybe others can learn from it and try to improve their own system of work. So starting with, so we are starting with workplace smoking policy. First, this is an extract. There is an extract of a recommendation from ILO. They had a survey. There was a survey by ILO in 2003, safe workplace. So in that survey, they tried to find out the different countries, the policies that they have in place in regarding to smoke-free workplace. And I'm going to share some of the resolutions already existing in some countries. So regarding workplace smoke policy. So after that, we can talk a bit about health hazard associated with smoking at workplace and other effects that smoking at workplace has on either the productivity or the health of the employees. So first, what are the health hazards that it's blocking me? Okay. What are the effects that smoking at workplace have on the organization? First is that people take more frequent break because they want to go for smoking break. But generally, there is nothing like a smoking break in most of the organizations I've worked with. Just that people tend to impose this on themselves. So taking a break to smoke has a way of reducing performance, because you will have some time to, you walk from your work location, the smoking area, and take also some time to come back. And if you make these trips like 4 times in a day, you can calculate maybe you have spent almost an hour going for smoke break and in and out. So this is part of the effects that is seen in the workplace. Then the other one is there is an increase in anxiety. When people feel like smoking, they have less concentration. So until they go for smoking and are back, they will not be able to concentrate. So these are part of the effect. And if there is less concentration, you know that the productivity will be low. Also, there is a direct impact on non-smokers because they're exposed to secondhand smoke. People that are not smoking, but while you smoke or while the people that smoke release the smoke in the air, and the people that are not smokers tend to breathe in this uh, smoke going out in the air. So they have their own, there's also a health effect associated with this. Okay, so smoking also, there's a high risk of fire. We all know this, that smoking is one of the contributors of fire outbreak in the workplace, especially when the cigarette butts are not properly discarded. Okay, so it can also destroy workplace culture. How? Because people tend to go on breaks whenever they feel like smoking. So it looks like there's no control of the workplace anymore. So people take break anyhow because it's difficult to stop people from smoking or from going for smoking break. So the workplace culture is affected. Okay. And then another one says that smokers are prone to increase accidents and injuries because they might get sick frequently. Okay, then the next one is that the smoking increases workplace cleaning and maintenance costs. So because people smoke and discard box anywhere, so the people cleaning would do more work because they have to clean the cigarette box. Okay, so these are some of the health effects of smoking, or some of the health effects associated with smoking. There is a research that says that it causes a stroke and some coronary heart disease. Also, it can also lead to damages in blood vessels, can cause lung cancer also. It can also lead to asthma, and it can also trigger asthmatic attack to those that are asthmatic. Okay, smoking can also affect the sperm density and can cause erectional dysfunction in men. So these are, in women also, smoking during pregnancy can cause congenital disabilities in babies. So it can also cause bone health. The bone health can be affected as the bone density is prone to the hip fractures. Smoking also can contribute to type 2 diabetes, can also lead to increase in high blood pressure. There's also a study that shows that smoking reduces memory and planning and overall mental ability. So these are some of the health effects associated with smoking. So let's get in with what some anatomists say about smoking. So in 1986, there were the surgeons, they drew a conclusion that says that involuntary smoking is a cause of disease, including lung cancer in healthy non-smokers. So this is associated with secondhand smoking. So people that are in the workplace, they are not smokers, but they are near the smokers. So this is called secondhand smoking. So the smoke coming out from there, there is a research by surgeons that says that it contributes to lung cancer. Okay, so then in 1991, the National Institute for Occupational Health and Safety also said that secondhand tobacco smoke is a potential cause of occupational carcinogen. So also smoking, secondhand smoking is an increased risk of lung cancer. So this, we are more concerned about secondhand smokers. The first-hand smokers or the smokers themselves, they have made the choice to smoke. but the choice that they have made should not form a health effect to non-smokers in the workplace. So I think this is why most countries are taking a second look at smoking in public places and putting in some regulations to ensure that non-smokers or secondhand smokers are not being affected, like we are going to see in subsequent slides. Okay, so World Health Organization in 2021 set out some of these goals to raise awareness about the importance of smoke-free air, to disseminate information about where it is prohibited to smoke according to the tobacco law, and also to create national network of smoke-free environments. So it's already in place. It's already an ongoing campaign to reduce smoking in public places, especially, and in workplaces, because of the health effect it has on secondhand smokers and those who have not made the decision to be smokers themselves. So let's look at some countries that have an existing regulation or maybe existing guidelines in place to reduce these effects. So the first one is Bangladesh. Bangladesh have a non-governmental organization called Occupational Health and Safety and Environment Forum. So they have their campaign against smoking in public places and in workplaces. And they had this team, they call it We Do Not Smoke. So this is part of the campaign ongoing in Bangladesh by their Occupational Health and Safety of Environment Forum to reduce smoking in workplaces. Now, in Singapore, there is a National Smoking Control Program. This is started in 1986, chaired by the Ministry of Health, which they are raising campaigns and awareness to reduce smoking in public places. And this campaign is being also promoted by trade unions and private organizations. Also in Australia, the National Occupational Health and Safety Commission in 1994 have also started a campaign aimed at sensitizing people on the health effect of passive smoking in the workplace. Passive smoking simply means you are not a direct smoker, but the effect of smoking in the workplace has on you is what we now refer to as passive smoking. So you are not a smoker yourself, but you are having this health effects because of the ongoing smoking in the workplace. Also in Canada, in British Columbia, they have also an ongoing campaign by the Health and Safety Regulation as of May 2002 that is restricting smoking in workplaces and in public places. So this is part of the campaign ongoing to reduce smoking in workplaces that will help to reduce the effect of passive smoking on non-smokers. So in US and California in particular, there is smoke-free workplace that was started in 1995, which has banned smoking in workplaces, including restaurants. In 1998 also, they passed a law banning smoking in bars and nightclubs also. So these are some of the campaigns ongoing. In Cambodia also, there is a smoke-free Buddhist monk program that is aimed at reducing the health effects of tobacco and smoking on the people, and trying to raise a campaign through the Ministry of Health in Cambodia to sensitize and enlighten people on the health effect of smoking, especially passive smoking. So for people to be aware that there is a health effect associated with non inhaling smoke from the workplace where people are smoking. You are not a direct smoker, but being a secondhand smoker, there is also health effect associated with it. So this will help employers to make some policies that will help to reduce smoking in the workplace and also indirectly or directly improve the health of the employees. So I've made some points trying to highlight the measures already ongoing in different countries on their efforts so far to reduce the health effect of smoking in the workplace. And today, we'll be discussing on the measures that we already have in place and the measures that we think can be in place that will help to improve smoking in the workplace and be able to reduce the effects associated with this smoking at workplaces. All right, so I'll stop sharing and I'll open the floor for anyone to contribute.
Yeah, you can just give me access. I have some few slides, so maybe just some things that are quite different, which we can just put together.
Okay,
and,
go ahead.
for the knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay. I just have a couple of slides here, which I prepared. Actually, Mr. Johnson have said on most of the things that needed to be said. Okay. So, but I will just come in a little way different in terms of information, because basically, for an organization to have a workplace smoking policy is very, very important and fundamental, because if you could see the image here of the lungs, it shows an LD, and also the other parts show unhealthy lungs, okay, as a result of being exposed to smoking, okay, whether being secondary smoker or the real smoker, okay, because for you to be a secondary smoker, you have the about 90% chance, to come up with health issue as those who are the active smokers, irrespective that you're a passive type of smokers. And for the purpose of our knowledge, it is important to understand that creating a comprehensive workplace policy, smoking policy, is crucial to maintain a healthy and productive environment for all employees. And what I want us to understand is that why there's a need for this policy. Okay, Mr. Johnson have enlightened, make some points, but this is just a picture for us to understand that implementing a smoking policy promotes healthy workplace by reducing the risks of secondhand smoke-related health issues, especially for those who are passive smokers. And like he has also highlighted area, it's also increased productivity. There are evidence that are proof to that, because when you smoke, it tends to distract you. It tends to distract people a lot, in performing their functions at work. Because I forgot to say, some of us who are here who might be smoker, but I will say apologies to that, for those who are smoking. Because to an extent, for those who smoke, believes they have a right to smoke, in as much as everybody has a right and freedom to do whatever they want to do. Because for me, I see people who smoke as it's an act of addiction. Okay, I don't see it as normal, because Sometimes these people need to undergo get what to call rehabilitation. They find it difficult to stop. When things become, or when things get to that level, it has become an addiction. In as much as most of them knows the effects, you still see them still struggling. That is why even the people who produce it, they will tell you smokers are liable to die. These are part of the safety message they are passing across. But at the same time, you have the right, as a smoker, to smoke. Somebody cannot stop you from smoking, actually. Okay. But now, in the other aspect of it, you find out that from respective organization, they have this responsibility to design a policy that will resist people from smoking in the workplace. Because the truth is that if I'm not a smoker, you come to my house, you don't dare to smoke. That is the reality. When you go to your house, you can smoke. You have the right to smoke. When you're at home, then you smoke. So also in the public places or things like that, there are areas that are designated because these people also have the right. Okay, but it should be encouraged as we continue to advocate, because it's not just about advocating because of the secondary smokers. We look at the emphasis of the health effects and how it also affects productivity within the organization. So the need for a workplace smoking policy is very, very good. Okay, and also enhancing corporate image within organization. And one of the benefits is some benefits of smoke-free workplace is that you have healthy employees. And once you have an healthy employees, it means you have an healthy workplace. So you find that there will be a reduced exposure to second-hand smokers, and also lower the risk of respiratory problem. Like the image I projected earlier, you see that anything that affects your lung, it has to do with respiration. Okay, and as Mr. Johnson has stated, there are other health issues. There are multiples, but we do. I did not want to dig into the health, because if I have to talk about the health implication, we can spend an hour talking about it. Okay, and when you have a workplace that is free from smoking, it will improve also air quality within such an environment. And also it can also, one of the benefits is that it helps to reduce fire hazard within the workplace, because it will, if in an organization there is policy that encourage people to smoke, then you discover that there's a chances of source of ignition within the work environment. So one implication is that most organizations don't know. And as a professional, what I believe is that we should be able to sell this information to our top management, because they don't know. But like I said, for emphasis sake, or maybe for another presentation, I'm going to bring out some implication when it comes to costs, and how can we be able to implement a program, maybe cessation program within the workplace. That should be another professional discussion on its own, because it's a broad topic of discussion on its own. Because smoking in the workplace has its own direct costs and indirect costs. Because the money you spend, on health services are all under direct costs, which will include payments made by company for healthcare benefits, disability, and workers' compensation, and so on and so forth. But just because I don't want to, because Mr. Johnson has spent so much time, but for the benefit of those who might need this presentation slide, I will share it if they request that. So there are a lot of information we need to get from here, because I want to move fast. I want to emphasize on certain things here, like the real cost of smoking. You see, the Center for Disease Control report that smokers cost employer about $3,400 per year in direct medical costs and lost productivity. Okay, now a national study based in America, an American productivity audit data of the US workforce found out that tobacco use was one of the greatest causes of lost workers' production time because of absenteeism. It is even greater than alcohol consumption. The effects, is greater than people who even take alcohol, and those who absent as a result of maybe family emergency issue, age, or education. And also, it is stated that a smoker on average have about twice as many absence, which is like 6.1 days, for 6.16 days for smokers, about 3.86 days per year for non-smokers, often due to decrease in productivity, and also it's reduced the morale, the morale of the workers and all that. So it is very important. It is very important for us to encourage our employer, to design a policy that favors the cessation of smoking in the site. Okay, and also it is also shown that employees who take 4 times 10 minutes smoking break in a day actually work 1 month less per year than workers who do not take smoking break. So you could see the huge loss to an organization. Okay, and on an average, tobacco user cost drug plan 2 times as much as non-tobacco users. Smoker can cost you additional money per year for smoking-related accidents and injury due to increased worker compensation costs, approximately about 2,189 for smokers and 176 for non-smoker. So if we look at this analysis, we will discover that there is a huge loss, as in financial loss, when we encourage smoking in the workplace. So it is fundamental that it does not necessarily mean that there must be fire. There must be fire in the workplace. There might not be fire, but looking at the health implication alone, we are also talking about the costs, of health-related issues. Now, when we now look at fire-related issues, which could damage a lot of property, so it is very, very fundamental that for us as a professional, when we try to convince management, because you see, for we to bring an idea and convince management, we need to prove to them, either by statistics, either by data, to show to them with evidence why they should design a policy that should benefit all the workers wisely, even those who are involved in smoking. Okay, because for me, I see nothing wrong for an organization to say, come, in this organization, we cannot accept smoking. It's not a crime. When you go to your home, then you can smoke, because it saves a lot, So one of the components of an effective smoking policy is that the policy should be able to have a scope that is clearly defined, where smoking is prohibited, outline designated area for smoking if necessary. Okay, and enforcement measures should be established. Should be able to establish a kind of consequence for non-compliance, because for a lot of people could violate some regulation or some policy statement that has already been developed. Okay, and there should also be a kind of campaign within the site, a kind of educational campaign where we use it to initiate a kind of rise of awareness, among employees, to be able to share the policy, tell them what is the benefit of this policy, and available resources that are available for them if they choose to quit smoking. Okay, so and implementing and enforcing this policy, like I've said, we need involvement of top management. We need to engage them, in promoting and enforcing this policy on our respective side. And this policy need to be communicated effectively, through different channels that we know. It could be meeting, through bus talk, it could be through email, internet publication, and all that. So, and also we should also be able to have a kind of support and resources, from the management as well. Because if we're able to convince them and show them all this statistical analysis or figure that shows how much they might be able to save, then because one thing about management is that they are interested in one thing: profit. Even as a safety professional, I know some of us might not have gotten to that level, but with time, with growth, we'll get to a level whereby we need to convince management. If you say you need to implement this, they will ask you what is the benefit. So then we begin to look at maybe probably cost benefit, all those analyses. You look at the risk. That is why in the ISO 45001, you hear risk and opportunity. When they were using OSAS 18001 or thereabout, it only talks about risk. So because of that old standard, many of us have challenges to convince management. But in the new standard of ISO 45001, you cannot talk about risks without opportunity. What it means by the opportunity is that if you tell them the risk, you need to tell them, for us to manage these risks, what are the opportunities, what are the benefits the organization stands to gain by implementing or reducing the risks to a tolerable level. So when they see the benefits, because everything at the end of the day will boil down to costs, whether accident, whether health issue, all involves money. So at the end of the day, the focus, what they want to see, we can save millions, we can save thousands of dollars or years or pounds, trying to save. While we are saving life, we are also saving money for ourselves. Now, it's not just about the employee itself. It's both benefit for the employee and also for the employer. So also addressing concern and overcoming resistance is, we should also have a kind of open dialogue. We need to communicate. We need to communicate to those who smoke, encourage them, do a lot of things, and also try to deploy a kind of alternative solutions, like designated outdoor smoking area for those who smoke, as the case may be. And also to, even if you want to allow them to smoke, you might just give them, maybe in a day, you just tell them you have only 10 minutes to smoke. So by that, you can see that you can increase your productivity level by reducing your own cost at your own time. Okay. And like I've said, awareness is very, very important. And also, one of the major important things is that if we are designing a policy, we need to look at how we design several programs. The policy should be able to encompass a program or plan that will encourage people to cease, away from smoking, and encourage them, educate them, tell them about the health implication of all those things, and show them images for them to understand what is the implication, okay? And also, we need to monitor. Monitoring and evaluation of the policy is very, very important. There should be a regular assessment. There should be a feedback mechanism from the employees. We need to get this feedback on how the policy is affecting their life health-wisely and all that. And also, we need to encourage celebrating success, recognize and celebrate milestone of achievement in maintaining a smoke-free workplace. We have to motivate employees, like I've said earlier, to continue supporting the policy that is developed. Okay, then in conclusion, I would just like to say, health and productivity, it's very important because the policy will promote the well-being of employee and also improve the health and productivity within the organization. And also, there's all positive corporate image. When you look at like Qatar Airways now, for example, I believe like those Qatar, like those pilots and all that, you discover that yes, you have your right to drink, you can smoke, you can do whatever you want to do. And there's a policy that states that those things can be done several hours before you embark on a flight or something like that. And you cannot do that when you're at work. So these are the kind of things that really help and gives you a kind of good corporate image, and also continuous improvement. There must be a regular evaluation and adaptation to ensure that the policy remain effective and aligned with evolving need and best practices globally. Like I said earlier, we could develop and we could look at another opportunity to further expatiate on this discussion, in terms of looking at the risk associated with smoking or tobacco use, which Mr. Johnson have highlighted earlier within the workplace. And also we have to look at the benefits, or opportunities. There are lots. And for us as a professional, we need to focus on this risk and benefits. If we understand the risk and benefit of this thing, because the benefit, we'll be talking more about cost, like I've said, we'll see a lot of statistical figure that showcase how an organization will be able to save a lot of money. So we can have this as a template to be able to challenge our employer to, when there's no way you can present this to your employer that they will not buy your idea, because what they want to see is profit. And if they can implement such policy, they will make profit. I mean, I tell you, is there any employer that will not want to encourage that? Except maybe your directors and all those who make, those top stakeholders are also involved in smoking. But anyway, if we are able to present it to them, they too, in as much as they are smokers, they should have a second thought and have a revisit of the way of life. Thank you very much. I will just want to thank Mr. Johnson for giving me this opportunity. I would just like the floor to be open so that other people can make their contribution and experience so far within their respective organization. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stephen, for that wonderful presentation, as usual. So we thank you for making that elaborate research and for giving out your best in trying to encourage others and educate us. So we really appreciate. Now we are keeping the floor open for contribution as usual. So let's see how you implement this policy for then and others. All right, go ahead. Mr. Andrew, you are talking, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the wonderful presentation that Joseph, my other senior colleague here. Yes, this is well elaborated, and I just want to chip in one or two things. Smoking, as we all know, is a global phenomenon. And from the statistics and a case study, smoking at workplaces and undesignated area has actually resulted in catastrophic situations, to the extent that the whole infrastructure, people are burnt down, killed, and thereabout. So it's a very broad topic that you brought in. It looks like it's just smoking, and we just see it like that. But from the explanation and presentation, you can see that it's a whole lot of information that we need to better our profession and to also save people. So implementing this policy is something that is a big challenge globally and to major or any workplace. First and foremost, since people always want to claim the right and they have the right to smoke based on individual preferences, the issue of implementation, one of the challenges, like I have experienced when you try to implement the policy of no smoking, one of the biggest challenges that I faced is with the top management people. For instance, you have the project director who may be an ardent smoker, and you find the guy smoking in the office carelessly. Such people had be able to handle them is challenging, to be sincere with you, because from my experience, when you talk to these people, for example, the MD that is really bossy, he will just find a way to like lump you, and with that attitude to cascade it to the shop floor becomes difficult. So that is one challenge. And when I come in contact with such situation, I try to, just as Stephen have highlighted, try to present it in a respectful manner. What's the benefit of not careless smoke in non-designated area, and if possible, reducing it in the workplace? Presenting such to the top management guys is something you have to do with all due diligence, presenting the benefits, the opportunities, and all that area of reducing waste, fire, and health issue. So in my own case, I try to present that to the MD. Over time, he bought in. So he reduced smoking in the office. But one of the biggest things when we talk to these workers or even other junior colleagues, to the MD, like the construction manager or the engineers, they will tell you, you are telling us how far have you been able to convince the project manager not to be smoking careless. You go to his office, you find cigarette butts all over the places. So these are some of the challenges. But with time, we brought the issue to up at the management meeting level, and that really helped a lot. But again, you come to like, okay, you said this because of me, and others, no, it's the general stuff. So with time, he reduced it, and to some extent, he tried to, like, if he sees you come in or whatever, try to prevent smoking. That was not there before. So generally, that is my own experience by that aspect. Then in the workplace, the policy has to be highlighted to everyone, highlighting the country legislation or regulation that talk about smoking policy. For example, in Qatar also has buy-in, even to the extent that try to impose taxes on smoking and cigarettes to discourage smoking. I think it has reduced some the effect of smoking amongst smokers who are addicted, especially some people who can smoke like 5-10 packets a day. Because of the cost taxes they impose on that, they reduce it. Then at the workplace, it has a direct effect. So this and so many other aspects, and beside that, when we try to implement this at the workplace, which should highlight the implications when it comes to the legal legislation. So that is that for me. Thank you very much. Over to you, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Andrew. We appreciate your contribution and experience you shared. Okay, the floor is open. We have some minutes more before we can end. So the floor is open for us to contribute. Yes, David Nzelu, you can unmute and.
This is a very important topic, which is part of what we witness in our everyday, day-to-day activity on the site. We deal with people who have a habit of smoking carelessly. In my own site, we've been able to control smoking in the workplace through the use of signages. There are some signages that shows where the lungs are being damaged, and some pictures of people who have damaged some parts of their body due to smoking, even the teeth, the gums, the lips, the redness of the eye, some certain illnesses which are related to addictive smoking. So these signages we use to create more awareness, especially in the smoking areas. We paste these signages to create more awareness. We don't literally stop them from smoking, but we try to enlighten them and educate them of the dangers of smoking. So when they come to smoke at the smoking area, designated areas, what they see with their eyes gives them a reason to reduce the rate at which they smoke. They always have a habit of saying, I want to stop smoking, but I don't know how. But gradually they are reducing. Someone that smokes like a packet a day is gradually reducing it to one packet in 3 days. This is a good sign, and gradually it's helping to reduce the rate at which people smoke in the workplace. So this is a very important topic, and I also requested for the presentation so I can see how to take this to top management to have a kind of awareness program regarding the dangers of smoking in the workplace, because there was a similar scenario in our previous project where the CCTV camera could not capture exactly what caused the fire, but it definitely was a case of smoking from the top. Maybe the poorly discarded cigarette butt was thrown down, and some furniture materials which were placed down started to illuminate with fire. So the CCTV camera could not really capture, because of the microscopic nature of this of the ash that led to the fire. But they all tried to waive the issue, sweep it under the carpet. But I went there to investigate and found some cigarette butts lying around that place. So it definitely was a case of smoking in the workplace. So that, with this presentation, will help to motivate them to give me a reason for this awareness program on the dangers of smoking in the workplace. So thank you. That's my own contribution.
Yeah. Sorry, Mr. Johnson, let me just say one or two things to what you have said. Definitely you have the presentation from Mr. Johnson from both of us, you know. I've noted down your email address, and also I will share an additional resources for you, because since you are going to make use of it within your workplace, these resources will be very, very important, okay, for your presentation as you intend to do that to your management. It will really help you, because whatever you need in order to encourage the management to implement smoking cessation programs or plans within the organization, to really go a long way. I will share that with you as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David, for that wonderful contribution. Actually, some of us have witnessed these issues. We witnessed it on day-to-day activities. And just like Mr. Andrew said, the most difficult part of the implementation is when some of the top management are part of this incessant smoking or discarding of smoking pots everywhere. So it becomes so difficult to implement, but nothing is impossible. So the will to start is what matters. So, and I think it's part of what we should take home from today's presentation, that we should have the willpower to start, to speak to power where it needs to be done, and to do that with facts and figures, and to do that also with adequate information. So we take time to read wide, get the necessary information, the figures available, and create an enabling environment to present this information to the top management. And the benefit is much. It abounds to both, there will be financial gain, and there will be productivity increase, improvement, health improvement. A lot of things will be gained. So we just need to start. We don't need to keep shying away from this responsibility. It's our responsibility, and we don't need to shy away from it, no matter who is involved. Even if it's the director that is involved, we don't need to shy away from it. And some of them, to be frank, some of them knows that they are addicted to smoking. There's somebody I've worked with that he shakes anytime he feels like smoking, and he cannot, you see him shaking like like something is wrong with him until he goes out and smokes and comes back. That is when he can get himself. They know that something is wrong, but somebody needs to look at that situation and speak to them and encourage them so that it will benefit others as well. So that's my own personal contribution. The floor is open. We can hear from one person before we end the chat for the day. Okay, if that is all we've heard, I'm sure that we are all overwhelmed with information, so we are just regurgitating over it. So that will be, that is okay. And
Sorry, I wanted to say something, but no, everybody have already said what I wanted to say. Just based on the, from top to bottom, the problem we are mostly facing is the top, from the top management. So how can we, press, like Mr. Francis and others have said, how can we put more pressure on them, to stop, so that the people below can, because the people below are looking up to them. When you talk to people below, they will tell you, Modi is there, project manager is there smoking. What have you done? What did you do? So this is the problem, like the other person said. This is the problem we're facing. How do we put more pressure on the top for them to, to see that people below are looking up to them, for them to, have a change in behavior in smoking. So thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Okay. Anyway, let me let me just emphasize on that. Just like Mr. Andrews has emphasized when he was giving his own contribution. You see, yes, as a safety professional, we do have challenges, when it comes to convincing management. Okay. But another strategy I want us to look at is when we look at our management structure, but most of the time, if we are unlucky, we might find out that the person who have the power, to make a change might be involving in such acts. But believe me, even if it does, it will not be like the lower cadre of workers where they just smoke anyhow, except in some few cases. Now, there's a better approach, That is why, as a professional, we need to be more of the intellectual type that understand is not about just going to sites, make sure that workers are safe alone. There's what I believe that what we do on site as a professional is to bring, there's a business word or terminology that every management will want to hear: return on investment. If it is to use that word, return on investment, you just use it to attract, to just draw the attention that, boss, I have a proposal for you. You can approach them at their convenient time, even if the person is a smoker. Just bring that idea that, I have a plan, I have a program that when we implement, I am telling you, it's going to generate a lot of return on investment to the organization. Okay? Believe me, there is no management, even if the person is a smoker, he will be interested. So the ball is now in our court, to have a well-designed presentation and a lot of data to show evidence of what we are talking about. It's not just telling them like that. You just tell them, can you give me opportunity, if it is 30 minutes to make a presentation just give me 30 minutes to the members of the management team. For the fact that you're meeting him one-on-one, is just to buy his idea, for him to buy your idea rather. And once that is done, he will create an opportunity, an avenue, and that will just be like the spike of all the whole issue. Then you can present it to them, and you just, as you are showing them and if you want to start, what I always advise people is that you tell them about the opportunity, the return on investment. You present that side first. That is what they want to hear before you begin to discuss about the risk. If you are telling them the reason, they will tell you, I know, but present the benefit first, then you come down and present probably the health implication and all that. Then they will begin to, so you will see some will buy your idea, some might not buy it initially. When you discover those who buy your idea, you can continue to push on them to see how they can help you to ensure that this process is implemented. And we have to be consistent about it. You cannot hit it once and get it. You keep pushing and pushing, then at the end of the day, we'll be able to have a success towards it. I think that's what I was.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Stephen. That was
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Henry, as well. Thank you all for your wonderful contribution. Mr. David, we can see your head. Thank you for coming. Mr. Francis, you said before you cannot hear us, so I'm sure you can hear us now. So thank you guys for making it again today. So next week, we will be discussing a very interesting topic. And I'll try to present the flyer on time. I'll try to make it available on time so that we make a very wide publication so that we can get more people, especially health and safety professionals, to benefit from this topic. We want to talk about communication. We want to talk about communication in the workplace. It's very, very important. Even all these policies we are talking about, these implementations we are talking about, if we don't know how to communicate it, we don't know how to let our views be known to different levels of management, it becomes problematic. So I'll try our best to make the flyer available as early as possible. So when you get it, you try to publicize it as well. If we get a lot of people implementing what we are discussing here in our workplaces, then accidents will be reducing. And indirectly, we are making contribution to reduce accidents in different parts of the world. I think that is why our 1 hour is not a waste every week. We're not wasting our 1 hour. We are benefiting, and the workplace should benefit as well. So thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate, and I thank you for your time. And do have a blessed and a safe walk. Thank you, James, for coming. Mr. Tayab, thank you very much. Mr. Henry,
Thanks so much.
Sarat,
Thank you.
Sarat, thank you for coming. And if you need the certificate, CPD certificate, just send me direct message in WhatsApp and with your full name so that I will make it available. All right, see you guys next week.
I want to say something before you go.
Okay.
I don't know if when you are posting this, I think my namesake, Stephen Francis, can also guide us. Today, I had one of my safety officer that I'm actually guiding on how to transfer from affiliate member of IOSH to technical because of Aramco approval process. So this process has taken some time. So I told him, okay, let's make a call direct since the response from IOSH is taking some delay. So the Arabic system, they are not good in communication. So when I make the call, I was now communicating as usual to the IOSH receptionist to pick the call. So after he make all the verification and he said, okay, somebody will get back. He said, okay, he wants to do a very short survey with me because I present myself as if I'm the one who has the challenge. So while I was doing the survey, he also asked a question that how am I experiencing the IOS CPD and the blueprint? How am I managing my own case? So he asked me, am I passing through the mentoring process or through a workshop or CPD or training? So I quickly told him anyway, I normally join every Thursday, a Safeoclock where we have a workshop program. He said, come again. He asked me, he said, can you call that name again? I told him a Safeoclock. This is where we are. He said, this is a beautiful one, but we've not heard about this. I said, yes. So I don't know if sometime when you post on LinkedIn, you can also tag them so that let them know the beautiful thing we are doing, because she immediately, she's the lady, she appreciates the fact that I told him this is where I'm getting my own 1 hour and filling my blueprint records. He said, man, this is a good one. Then so we just get the discussion like this as part of the survey that answer some of the questions she was asking. So that if when you post on LinkedIn sometime as we are sharing for a wider spread, sometime if it is necessary, I don't know, because we don't know they have some policy or that. We can tag them sometime, let them know that, okay, this is what we're also doing from our end.
Yeah, you are very correct. Even last time when we had the discussion on blueprint, we made it known to them, and they were also happy that we are taking that step. So, and it's not replacing IOSH Qatar chapter or other chapters. It's just our own way of contribution in the health and safety field. So we'll do that, and we have a member of the IOSH Council here. So we'll see how we can make it official.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. You raised a very good question. Maybe when I say stuff like that, and even there are so many places I have spoken, whether individually or as a group, and I have made reference to Safeoclock. So just like from what Mr. Ovia said, Mr. Johnson, maybe you can also, you tag some kind of provisional body like that, so that this information can go far. Because even as at the time I was doing my interview for the council member, I make reference to a professional discussion group that we have here in Qatar, which connects people within the Middle East and also down to African and all that, where we do professional discussion on a weekly basis. And they were encouraged, they were like amazed, because the truth is that rarely will you see things like this. Professional comes together, learning, because, and really this is one of the things all these professional body are designed for. They want to see that people acquire knowledge, either through, and because whatever we are doing today can form your CPD activity. Okay, it forms your CPD activity. It's a massive one, but we don't know, because these things are things that
this is what I used to feel my CPD activity. So
yeah, of course, because if you do this every four times in a week, within a year, you've covered your 30 hours CPD.
Sure. More than 30 hours.
So you can see it's a very big plus, and that is noted. I think Mr. Johnson and I will try to see what we can do to improve on that. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Dave, I throw a salute.